Nick Baldwin for MMAsucker.com here with a middleweight fighter who takes on Jared Revel this Saturday night in Vancouver, British Columbia. The BFL middleweight title's on the line at BFL 59. It is George Davis. George, it's been a while since we've talked. Unfortunately, you haven't fought since the last time we talked.
Yeah.
Your last win, your last fight was against Sam Amro, September 2017 here in Winnipeg at MCL 1. What's it been just, I guess, trying to get fights? You had a fight in last September that was canceled week of the fight. What's it all been just, again, not being able to stay very active?
No, it's been kind of discouraging in a way, you know what I mean? Like training, fights signed, promoters looking for fights, stuff on the go, and nothing happening, like I had that fight contract signed for RITC 59 in September, and the guy backed out the Monday due to injury, which, shit happens, right? Come on, like at the end of the day. But yeah, and then trying to find, get on, what is it called? Adam Lorenz was doing, what was that card?
It was Modern Fighting Championship.
Modern, yeah, trying to find something for Modern. They couldn't find me nothing, so it's been just kind of like a year of downs, and been training, but nothing's been coming up. So.
And it's often like that on the Canadian MMA scene. I guess it's something you're sort of used to at this point, as unfortunate as that might be. Is it tough to stay motivated, tough to get into the gym and still be training even though you don't actually have anything official lined up?
Oh yeah, for sure. It is tough, but I mean, luckily we have some guys here that have been fighting, and guys like like my training partners and stuff, right? So I come for them to help them just like they come to help me, right? So, it is discouraging, but it's also at the same time, like you got to give and get at the same time, right?
So now you do have this fight coming up, so yeah, it's looking up for you. You're taking on Jared Revel, as I said, this Saturday night. You're fighting for the BFL middleweight title. How did this opportunity come together? Because often guys like you, fighting in Winnipeg, we don't often see. I mean, I don't know if any WAMA guys have gone to BFL, at least in past little while. How did this opportunity sort of come about?
You know what? I don't know how exactly it transpired, but I know Lee's fighting on BFL in March. So I guess Jared's opponent got hurt or something happened. I don't know what the whole story is, but asked Curtis if he had anybody at 185, and Curtis talked to me. I didn't even know it was for a title. He just mentioned to me, he's like, "Would you like to, you want to fight 3 weeks notice against a good guy, like a guy that's decent, like, And I was like, yeah. I was like, let's do it, right? So it's just kind of came together.
Before, I guess, whenever you got the call sometime in the past couple months, did you ever look at BFL as a possibility, as, I could fight here next or one day? I mean, was BFL on your radar?
Not really, no, because I mean, it's in BC, obviously, it's far away, right? Like usually it's hard getting fights in Saskatchewan, which is right next door, right? So it's kind of like, last minute like this, like last minute booty call kind of deal. Okay, here, you want this? Let's go. Okay, well, let's do it, right? So that's.
How long actually have you had to train for this fight?
About 3 weeks. Close to 3 weeks.
A little short notice, is that an issue? I mean, I'd imagine not. I mean, you've probably taken short notice fights before. Is this okay?
Yeah, I mean, ideally 6 weeks would have been perfect for this, because I mean, like, he is an experienced guy. He is decent. Like, he is good at certain things. He is, for sure. It would have been nice to have a 6-week camp, but I trained hard over the summer for that fight in September. I kept training to hopefully fight on Modern. Didn't happen. And then I took like a little bit of time off to relax. So I'm still I feel I'm still pretty good shape from all the training this year so far.
You're traveling for this fight a bit more than you usually would. Your last fight was here in Winnipeg, literally just a few kilometers downtown. And your last few fights before that were in Saskatchewan. A bit of a car ride, but nothing too major. This is a flight to BC. Do you have to deal with that? Is that something that gets in the way? I mean, or is it just a flight? I think
it's just a flight. Honestly, at the end of the day, I think it's only a couple hours. That's nothing. Like, I fought amateur out in Yellowknife. They flew us out there, and there was no difference. And actually, it was way nicer than driving, even, because driving, you're cutting weight, you're not drinking water, you got to go to the bathroom all the time, you got to stop, you got to get back in, stop. It's just, and honestly, driving 8, 10, 12 hours sucks when you're cutting weight.
You mentioned the weight cut. You're flying out on Friday, weigh-in day. Does that make it a little interesting, a little tricky? You got to know what you're doing and not mess up the weight cut, so to speak.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it would have been nice to be out there the day before, but that's just the way this all went down, which is okay. My weight's really good right now. I'm actually been really good with my weight. So I don't see it being any kind of a problem. You know what I mean? And I think we land at like noon or 1, and then we go to the gym for weigh-ins. And the commission's going to wait around for a little while longer because like we just got in town. And if I don't make weight by then, I still got at 7:30 they get to do weight again. So it's not like it's like one chance and you're done kind of deal. So it's kind of nice to have a little bit of give with it.
And just out of curiosity, with this fight being in Vancouver and not closer than as you're used to, I mean, does that add to the expenses? I mean, flying out, I guess who will be in your corner firstly? How many coaches are you sending out?
Just one, just Curtis.
Curtis? Yeah. Okay. I mean, as far as how you, is BFL paying for all the flights?
Yeah,
I know
they deal with all that stuff. They book the flights, they book the hotels and that. So I just get on the plane, I go in the way in, and then hotel kind of deal.
No extra cost for you.
No, exactly. Yeah.
That's good. Let's talk about your opponent, Jared Revel. When you got the call, did you know of him? Had you heard the name before, or brand new?
No, I had no idea. I talked to a couple of people I train with that been in the game a long time, have a lot of fights, and I've seen them and seen things, and yeah, talked to a few people anyway, and even I watched some fights and I was like, yeah, I want this fight. I was like, I'm like, I feel this is going to be a good fight. This is going to be a good matchup.
So you've done the research over the past 3 weeks and sort of figured out what he's good at, what you're good at, what you're better at, what where you need to watch out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess, can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, he's had a couple knockouts. He's got a couple stoppages. I don't know who the guys were. Both the guys that I've seen, I think we're both from the States. Like, I don't know. I couldn't see any fights on them, but how they fought, so I have no idea, right? But I know he's a black belt, which is and apparently a good black belt. So that's the only issue. Like, I'm a purple belt. I'm decent on the ground. I roll with a lot of high-level black belt guys. So I'm not too concerned. But I mean, also, there's still that little bit of like, okay, well, this guy's been doing this for how long, right? Like, he's obviously earned that belt, right? So that's kind of the only little thing that's like, meh. But at the end of the day, I feel I'm gonna be able to hold my own.
I actually should have Googled this before this, but Jared Revel, I assume he's a BC guy. Do you know?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Stepping into enemy territory, you're not going to get as many cheers as you did this past or last September, I should say. Does that bother you at all, or is it kind of fun?
No, it doesn't bother me at all. It's gonna be fun. Like, legitimately, I'm gonna have fun. That's why we do this. Like, I don't pay my bills with this, right? Like, I have a full-time job. This is what I get to do for fun. This is what I do because I enjoy it. I don't care. They can boo all they want. Literally, like, ain't gonna matter.
Could this be the biggest fight of your career?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, guy. He's 7-2. Like, he's ranked up there in top of Canada. Like in the middleweight division. Yeah, for sure. This is like a very big fight, I would say.
So is this the level of opportunity you were expecting? Following the Sam Amara fight.
Honestly, I was just expecting whoever. Honestly, to me, I fought at 205 or 185. I fought at catchweight at 178. Like, I fight all over the place because it's kind of like I don't really get that many offers to fight. I don't really get too many. So it's like something comes up, it's like, let's do it. And honestly, within reason, right? Like, my coach Curtis isn't gonna just throw me into the wolves to get my head kicked in. He knows my skill level. He knows where I'm at. Sees these guys. He watches videos and stuff, and then he makes a decision. He's been in the game a long time.
Why is it you think you don't get many fight offers? I know, I mean, it's kind of how Canadian MMA on the local circuit as it works right now. I mean, there's just not many opportunities, but is there anything you can do differently to increase that, or is it just, how many promotions there are out there?
I think it's the promotions, and I think like I train at a really good gym, like I come out of a really good gym, well known, like around the fight industry, and the thing is why would they want to bring people in when they got local guys? Why are we going to pay guys to come in, or why are we going to pay guys more money to come in, and potentially destroy their guys? That doesn't look good for hometown people, right? So like that's kind of why I feel there isn't as much opportunity, and when there is, it's like a little bit different level sometimes, right? Or it looks like a little bit different level, or like a different, so it's kind of, I don't know, it's a little hard. It'd be nice if we had some cards here. We've only had one card since the UFC came here, and that was that MCL. Like, it's rough.
So then, with that in mind, is it at all surprising you're fighting in Vancouver?
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, it's honestly, it's just another place, man. Just another place to get in the cage and throw down. So,
do you have any idea where you would sit? And I guess the Canadian MMA middleweight rankings with the win over Revel. It's kind of just a matter of get the fights, get more experience. But do you have any sort of idea or expectations for yourself where you would sort of sit among the rest of middleweights in Canada?
Not really, no. I don't really pay that much attention, to be honest with you. Just when I go on Topology to look at people's stuff is where I see the rankings. I don't really pay too much attention to it.
How do you think you get the job done?
I'm hoping to stop him. But I mean, worst case, we're hoping maybe I can submit him. Maybe if it goes a distance, we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
The plan would be to stay active this year.
It would be, yes, it would be. I'd like to. We'll see what happens. Though that's kind of every year's been, I'm getting older, right? I'm 32, so it's like, it'd be ideal to get as many fights as possible. So,
No guarantees. Hopefully that does happen. How long do you have left in MMA? Do you think? I'm sure that's not anything that's crossed your mind lately or ever really. But if we're being realistic, like 3 years, 4 years, do you have any sort of ideas?
yeah, I'd say 5, probably maximum 5. Yeah, and depending on what happens, depending on how everything goes, depending on how healthy you stay. Like, there's a lot of variables in that, right? So it kind of all depends on. And life in general depends. Get married and have kids. Well, hey, maybe we won't be fighting no more. You know what I mean? Like everything plays into the factor. So ideally, like I'd like to. I'm saying right now, like I know, like for me, it'd be like 5 years for sure. But could be more, could be less, depending on life.
You signed a 1-fight deal with BFL.
I think it's a 2. I think it's 2. Yeah.
Are you? I imagine with that, you're looking forward to fighting, win or lose on Saturday. You're looking forward to completing that contract and going back to BC a second time.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I want to fight. So I mean, if they can guarantee me 2 fights, man, I'm there.
Defending the middleweight title would be pretty great. What would that do to your career if you win the BFL middleweight title, able to defend it? I mean, that's 2 big wins for you.
Yeah, I mean. I would probably put me on the scene, that's for sure. It'd be people would recognize me, people would notice me, right? It'd be more of a stand out more. So hopefully that we can get a little more.
Would the idea to re-sign with BFL after 2 or see what happens?
All depends who comes up with what and who wants to do what and where. That's all, that's the big thing. So we'll see what happens.
George, thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it, and best of luck to you in Vancouver on Saturday.
Awesome. Thanks, man.